one of my favorite products here, Mr. Rick Caruthers from GalaxySys.com. Tell us what you guys do.
Galaxy is an independent access control manufacturer based in the Frederick area of Maryland, in Washington, D.C.
In the good old US of A.
Yes, sir.
Manufactured here.
Everything we make is manufactured by us, built by us, designed by us in Maryland.
And that's unusual in this day and age.
It absolutely
is. Fantastic.
And we want to stay to it. That's our roots. That's how we started in the early 70s building computers, and we've evolved into the access control space since the 80s, and we don't anticipate ever changing that model.
Early 70s building computers.
74.
Fantastic. Wow.
74.
I got my first computer in 84. That's fantastic.
We were building mini mainframe computers, and one of our first contracts that we won was with Spay War. We provided the hardware that tracked enemy submarines around the world.
Oh, my God, that's great. Now, I remember talking to you a couple years ago. I broke my leg, so I skipped you last year.
Okay, that's good.
And your access control is primarily focused on in the government sector, right? The high-end stuff?
More commercial. I mean, government makes up about 25% of our business. Still, the commercial side of it is bigger for us. But we're more of a mid to high range type installations. We are strategizing. We are bringing out new products that put us more in that middle to low. But we're not in the range of competing with companies that are distribution based or anything. We're dealer direct.
Right.
So we have a very rigorous training program that our dealers go through. So we want to ensure that an end user for Galaxy has a dealer that is well versed on the product that can handle any situation. So we take pride in that.
Let's talk about integration, installation, owner, manufacturer, distributor. In this day and age, let me push a button, go on the internet, get something cheap, doesn't work. How do you guys handle the areas that you work in and the installations, keep it all consistent?
Well, the training is a very important part of that. The 24/7, 7-day-a-week tech support is also very important. I mean, you want to know from an end user perspective or from a dealer perspective that you can reach an expert if you're having problems. And we keep that going. Again, no matter where you are in the world, you can reach Galaxy and you're going to get a live person. That's a Galaxy employee.
Yeah.
We're not call centering this out. We're not pushing it out to a person that's reading from a script to try to solve your problem. Most likely you're going to talk to an engineer that has some interest in the development and some input into that.
That's unusual.
So you're talking to people that have been with the company for a long time. We're very proud of the longevity our employees have with the company. We've got people working in manufacturing that's been there for 30 years. I've been with the company 16 years. So you'll find that the names and faces don't change at Galaxy. Yeah. So that's the stability of the company is very important to us as well.
Now, there's so much talk now about these things being open platforms. I'm going to hook up an API to that, make it all work. And is your system proprietary, or can we integrate with a camera system and come to a graphic user interface?
It's proprietary on the fact that we're building our own hardware, but we do have a software API.
Okay.
So we are encouraging other companies to tie into our products.
All right.
And we're constantly doing video integrations. We're doing biometric integrations. I mean, visitor management type solutions, time and attendance solutions. We're becoming the nucleus of the security system as a platform. So everything comes back to your access system, and that's what we're trying to build that around. A lot of things we're not building ourselves, but we're relying on other people who do it better than we do.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes no sense for us to get in the video business. There's a lot of people that do it better than we would ever do it. So we just partner up and where it makes sense. We listen to the industry, who's the hot player, who's the guy that you want to tie into, and we make that happen.
Now, I like what you said about the access control being the center of security. Because people think it's an add-on to security.
Sure.
Some people think the security department, the guard is access control, and the little thing we use is just part of it, or the camera. But really, it all comes down to the first thing I say in access control is no.
Yeah.
That's why most people don't, though, by the way. It's like, what's the exception to the rule? I'm going to let this guy in. I say, you're not coming in. Prove to me you're going to come in. Of course, it's authentication, right?
Sure, absolutely.
But to make the access control platform the center and then tie things into it makes more sense. Especially from a
wanting the user interface to be seamless.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to, if something's going on, it's going on from the level of something happening at a door, something happening near a door. We want that environment to revolve around one user interface. So you don't want a person to have to learn 5 screens or have, if I'm going to enroll you in a biometric solution, you should enroll from the same screen you enroll a card.
And by the way, does your application handle that? Do you have the graphic user interface for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
and what we're doing, we're not trying to reinvent what others do. We take some of our partners, and what we're doing, we're embedding their GUI into ours.
Okay.
So if you're wanting to see a video from one of our partners, that same video GUI that you're using on a daily basis for your video is going to populate inside our application. So we're not going to take you to another screen. We're not going to make you to close down things. We're going to bring everything in front of you. And we think it's important as a user to not to have to learn too many things. I don't want to create an interface that you've got to learn that's different than what you're already using.
That's right. Makes a lot of sense.
So we're doing that. We're migrating more into the cloud. A lot of companies in our space, they're either cloud-based or they're on-premise based. We're kind of becoming a hybrid type company.
Okay.
At ISC West this past year, we launched our first internet cloud offering for hosted solutions, and it has absolutely exploded. We're dedicating full resources to it on the technical side, on the sales side, and on the development team. We're treating this almost as a separate business within inside of Galaxy because it is a separate way of thinking.
Right.
It's taking it away from the traditional, which we're never going to give away and stop doing, but we see it as a nice migration, and cloud is very, very popular. We're taking that, and then we're increasing our cyber threats. We're putting a lot of effort into making our hardwares more hardened, so you don't worry about it being there. No one wants to be the point of entry.
That's right.
And that's becoming big news, recent news. You don't want to be the one that's pointed to as why the bad guy got into the network and did something.
Yeah.
And we really pay attention to that.
Rick Caruthers, Galaxy Sys, that's GALAXYSYS.com. I love what you just said about the hybrid, because it's going to tip eventually to one point where the guy that's off the grid is the safer facility.
And
it's going to go backwards.
It could
eventually someday, and you have both systems, so we can just go back.
And we have both systems.
Yeah.
We're building it in a way to where if you are a customer that you have some sites that you want cloud hosted, it'll work in conjunction with sites that are on-premise hosted. So we're trying to build that bridge. We think no one else is doing it the way we're doing it. We're also offering, instead of just doing hosted and managed, we're doing monitored. So we're working relationships with central stations that allows the Galaxy events to go to a central station that's monitored 24/7. So we're just trying to think a little out of the box and find our niche. And that's what we've done for the last 30 years, and we'll continue to do that.
And you're a super nice guy, I got to say that.
Well, we appreciate
Thanks for coming on SecurityGuideTV.com.
Right.
I've interviewed hundreds of people, and this is a little different. These guys are different in the access control business of things you've seen. So I'm going to be really impressed if you remember your booth number.
I do not.
I'll tell you what, come to 1613.
I think it's 2107.
It's kind of cat-a-corner here to the ASIS booth, so you can find it real quick.
Look up. We got a banner hanging above.
You'll find it real good. Rick Caruthers, thanks so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Take us out, Mr. Lewis.